In this video, I'll be sharing with you some valuable tips on how you can achieve a healthy body and mind through fat loss by simply implementing a few habits that are easy to adapt and are proven to be highly effective. And for those of you who prefer to read, at the end of this video, you can always head over to my blog where you will find this exact same content in a written format. The link is in the description box below. So you don't like the way your body looks naked in the mirror, or you wish that your double chin or that belly fat would just melt away, or you wish that certain clothes fit you better, or maybe you just want to run around with your kids without feeling that shortness of breath or running out of energy, or maybe you're just tired of taking those blood pressure and cholesterol pills, and not to mention the cost, or maybe you have tried to lose that excess body fat for a long time over and over again, but it just seems like a vicious cycle that you cannot get out of. Maybe you even got yourself a personal trainer and a fitness program and you tried to eat healthy, but nothing really seemed to work. And if any of these things sound like you, then this video is for you. I'm going to tell you why you can't lose that excess body fat or get even closer to that ideal body that you've been dreaming of for a long time. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the harsh truth, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. In this video, I'll do my best to explain and break down all the components that you need to get rid of that excess body fat in plain, simple English. No fancy jargon. But before I dive into these useful habits, I want to mention 3 very important key points that you have to remember and practice at all times. Number 1, your end goal shouldn't be that you want to lose X number of pounds. That should be part of the process towards a bigger goal, because once you achieve that goal through all these great habits that you have been practicing and you've lost the weight that you had wanted, you are less likely to continue on with those great habits and more likely to gain the weight back in a short period of time. So your end goal should be more of a lifestyle change, something that redefines your identity. So I can give you an example, something like, I want to live an active lifestyle and be a mindful eater, because once you define that goal to be your end goal, you are going to live that goal on a day-to-day basis, not until you've achieved that goal, because you are living it. You're not going to just stop once you've lost the 10, 20, or 30 pounds, because that type of goal is short-lived. So you are redefining your identity by setting your goal to be this way, which is, I want to live an active lifestyle and be a mindful eater. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with setting short-term goals, like if you want to get into your wedding dress, or if you want to look great for your beach vacation and you want to lose 10, 20, or 30 pounds, that's fine. But just remember that if you are setting your goal just to be that, you are not going to have that great body or continue to lose the excess body fat or keep it off for a long period of time. Number 2, it's not always easy to change certain behaviors, especially if those behaviors have been part of your life for a long period of time, meaning they have been part of your identity. So it's not always easy to change or redefine your identity. So how do you get rid of these bad behaviors? Well, when you're creating a list of actions or behaviors that are going to help you achieve your goal, you need to make them enjoyable and easy. So for instance, if you're someone who doesn't like going to the gym because the crowds intimidate you, or you don't like working out among other people, then the chances of you being physically active are going to be very minimal, because you are not going to enjoy the experience, which means that you're not going to make an effort to put yourself in that situation or that circumstance because you don't enjoy it. So you'll do anything in your power to avoid that situation because you just don't enjoy it. So you need to find alternative physical activities that you will actually enjoy. They can be something as simple as home workouts, going for a walk, going for a run. It doesn't have to be as aggressive as going to the gym right off the bat, because I understand it can be very intimidating when you first start out. So number 2 tip is that you need to find something that is going to be enjoyable. Now let's get to the easy part. Now, Again, if you are someone who doesn't enjoy going to the gym because you find it difficult, you're going to find every excuse in the book not to go. So the idea of getting ready, walking out the door, getting in the car, driving to the gym, or walking to the gym, all of those actions can be a hurdle in the way of you going to the gym. So you need to make it as easy as possible. Once again, home workouts are easy. You don't have to get ready, you don't have to leave the house, you don't have to drive anywhere. All you have to do is just find a spot in your house and start working out. Use resistance bands, you can walk outside. So you need to make it as easy as possible. So two things you have to remember: enjoyable and easy. If you get that down, you are more likely to continue with your physical activity part. Number 3, you need to create a system of habits that brings you happiness when you're practicing it. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say that you are having a healthy meal. Now, you need to remind yourself that this healthy meal is full of nutrition and it's going to bring you one step closer to your end goal, which is to be mindful of what you eat, and therefore it should bring you happiness. And every time you are thinking twice about going for that run, remind yourself of the last time when you finished that run and how happy you felt because you were, again, one step closer to your end goal of being physically active, which is part of your new identity now. Celebrate each commitment that you fulfill and each promise that you keep towards your end goal, because those are the reasons why you need to be happy. If you start focusing on your end goal of being skinny or losing 10, 20, or 30 pounds, you are going to be miserable in the process of getting to that goal. So your focus should be to be happy each time you hit that milestone of running for an extra 5 to 10 minutes or eating well for 5, 6, 7 days in a row. Find happiness in the process towards your end goal. Alright, so now let's talk about some of the things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis in order to lose that excess body fat, because after all, this video is about losing the excess body fat. If you're consuming more calories than your body is burning on a regular basis, you're not going to lose that excess body fat. It's just simple math. And it doesn't matter how healthy your diet is, how many salads, avocados, and nuts and fruits you eat per day. If you're consuming more calories than you're burning, your body will always use the food you consume as a source of energy before it uses the fat storage in your body. So let's say you're allowed to have 3,000 calories per day in order to maintain your current body weight. Now, in order for your body to tap into that fat storage, you need to be in what we call a caloric deficit. And you need to be in it for a long period of time until you get to the weight or the fat loss that you're satisfied with, and then you just maintain that. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out how many calories you need per day in order to maintain your current body weight. Once you've established that, you need to consume a few hundred calories per day less to stay in caloric deficit. Now, it doesn't have to be a massive number. You don't need to go from 3,000 calories to 2,000, 1,500 calories. You can start slow because that allows your body to adjust to the change. So instead of going to 2,500 or 2,000 calories from 3,000, you can start going to 2,800 calories for the first week or two, and then slowly start reducing those calories because your body and your brain will have time to adjust. And that's going to give you a longer lasting result as opposed to a drastic weight loss, which will be short-lived and can also cause a lot of complications. So the best thing is to not only go slow, but also go consistently, which means that you cannot have 2,800 calories one day and a few days later you're having 3,500 calories for the next few days. You need to stay in caloric deficit for a long period of time until you are satisfied with the excessive weight loss, until you've got to the point where you are happy with the result that you're seeing, and then you can maintain that level of calorie intake. Now, how do you determine what your caloric intake should be per day? For that, you can head over to my blog where you can find some very useful tools. And once again, the link to my blog is in the description box below. This is the part where anyone who wants to lose excess body fat thinks that they need to have a gym membership or a personal trainer or a complete workout plan. None of this is true, especially when you first start out, especially if you're someone who does not have an active lifestyle. You don't need to worry about any of those things. You just need to move. You need to have some sort of a plan for your physical activity part, and you need to stay committed to it, and you need to do it on a consistent basis. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter what that is. If you are someone who has only half an hour 3 times a week to go for a run, that's all you need to do, then stay committed to it. I also understand that sometimes life gets in the way and that you're not able to keep your commitment. If that ever happens, don't just stop. Instead, just make up for that lost day. As long as you keep plugging away, as long as you stay committed and you do it on a consistent basis, week after week, you will start to see that change. You will start to lose that excess body fat. And just remember, your physical activity has a direct impact on your daily calorie intake. The more you move, the more calories you burn, and therefore create a bigger caloric deficit. And your body's going to have to tap into that fat storage in itself in order to create more fuel and energy. So it's very important for you to move on a consistent weekly, daily basis. And physical activity can be very intimidating for a lot of people for many reasons. I have heard every excuse under the sun, from I hate running, I hate going to the gym, running hurts my knees, etc., etc. So whatever the excuse is, find an alternative. If running hurts your knees, walk. If you hate going to the gym, work out at home. Find an alternative. Now those are some of the very important things to remember. Again, the main thing is that you are moving. You are burning more calories to create that caloric deficit. And if you're struggling with staying physically active because you think that you have to do an hour of cardio or half an hour at the gym, etc., etc., no, you don't have to. Start slow. If you find that going for a walk for only 10 minutes is all your body can handle, or that's all the time that you have, then start with that. Over a period of time, you will adapt to start doing more, because again, it's a habit that you are trying to establish. It's part of the system that you are creating for achieving that bigger goal of staying active and losing the excessive body fat. So it doesn't matter what type of physical activity that you're doing and how long you're doing it for. The most important thing is that you start and you do it on a consistent basis. There's one final thought that I want to leave you guys with, and that is, in order for your fat loss to be successful, I have created a system, what I call the 3P system. And what that system is, you can find out more about that on my blog. Again, the link to the blog is below in the description box. And if you learned anything from this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If there's anyone you think might benefit from this video, please make sure to share. I appreciate all your feedback, and I'll see you next time.